What's up, vinyl community? It's Robert Fithen, and I want to talk about 10 songs that have some sort of special connection for me, or some sort of special meaning, or I hear the song and I instantly, some sort of specific memory is conjured. Now, these aren't necessarily my 10 favorite songs, or, best songs of all time, or whatever. As a matter of fact, I like all these songs, but as a matter of fact, I don't hear these songs a lot, and so they still have that special connection. A lot of times, I hear songs over and over and over again. That kind of thing gets diluted, and it just turns out to be, just a song. I mean, maybe a great song with a great guitar solo, or really rocks, or clever lyrics, but it loses that special connection. So these are 10 songs that still have that for me. Song one is You from Candlebox. Now, this is the Candlebox album or CD full length, and this is the radio edit of You. Now, you need a radio edit if you're going to play it on the radio because the song says fuck you in it. Now, that's important in this story because the memory I always get from this is working at the Sangamon County Fair in Chatham, Illinois. That's where they had the Sweet Corn Festival at the same time. Now, I was at the rock radio station, and I was really early in my days with radio, super early, just getting my feet wet. And, Sangamon County Fair was going on, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's not a county fair, it's a county fair with sweet corn. And a grandstand where for the first time they're going to have an alternative hard rock band. So, I don't know. I don't know what this is going to be. I don't know. Should we do this? An alternative hard rock band? Yikes. You know what I'm saying? So they were very skittish about doing it. We convinced them, it's going to be fine, blah, blah, blah. Somebody told them at the last minute, these guys have songs where they yell out, fuck you and whatever. And the guy was like, absolutely not. We're not having that at the Sweet Corn Festival. We don't need that. And so basically they had they had the guys that were going to have to sign some sort of paper saying that they would not use profanity on the stage and whatever. Now, I'm so new at this time and so naive that I'm thinking, oh, well, that's not going to happen. We might as well, you guys need to pick another band and we'll go with that or something because, rock stars, Candlebox, they're going to hear, don't say this on stage, don't say that on stage. They're going to take that contract, rip it up, say to hell with you and get out of there. Nobody's going to tell us what to say on stage. This ought to be good. So what happens is their manager goes, oh, you guys need a profanity clause? Cool. Yeah, the guys will sign that. Sign, done. No big deal. I'm just like, so yeah, Candlebox is performing. This is at the grandstand at the Sangamon County Fair with the Sweet Corn Festival, Chatham, Illinois. They're on the stage and they're doing the song You, and it's the big hit at the time. Everybody's all pumped up. Everybody knows all the words in the audience. Full capacity. I think it was sold out. And, they get to the part where I think the line they say before it is, don't you put drugs in my face or something like that. Don't you put drugs in my face. Fuck you. I don't want it no more. That's how the song goes. And so the guy gets right before that line and the guitar starts noodling and the guy starts talking. His name is Kevin Martin, by the way, lead singer of Candlebox. He starts going on and he's like, they won't let me say certain words on the stage tonight, but that doesn't mean that you can't say them. And the whole audience, yay! And he goes, don't you put drugs in my face! 13,000 people at the same time yell out, fuck you, at the Sangamon County Fair. Yeah, this was instead of just one lead singer saying it into a microphone, we got 13,000 people screaming it out. Obviously, we were not allowed back at the Sangamon County Fair for like 4 years or something like that. It was the same night that the program director of the radio station got into a literal fist fight with the music director. Again, I'm still kind of new, just going, all these different things going on, but that is what I go back to if I ever hear the Candlebox song You. 13,000 people at the Sangamon County Fair screaming out lyrics. So, song two, I was 24 years old when my father passed away, and I was working in Springfield, Illinois, 80 miles or about 80 minutes, I guess, from where I grew up. Got the phone call and everything, and came home and was driving home listening to, a CD or whatever, and the CD I got tired of it, or the CD ended or whatever, took it out, and the radio station was on our competition, basically, which was a classic rock station. There was just Old Man from Neil Young had just started. Yeah, this is what I had Old Man on from Neil Young at the time. I didn't have Harvest on Decade at that point yet. Doesn't matter anyway. It wasn't the record playing; it was the radio. And they played Old Man, and 24 is mentioned in there is the age. I know that Neil Young did not write this about his father, but listening to it, it really connected with me. And my father and I did not have a tightest relationship. He got along. He and my older brother got along great, but my older brother's like 10 years older than I am. But it's very common for kids to love both their parents, obviously, but you have maybe one parent that you have a little more of a connection with or whatever. And for me, that was definitely my mother. I didn't get along that great with my dad, but this song came on and the whole line really hit me. I mean, it's one of those times where you've heard the song a million times, or maybe not a million times, but heard it, and just the right time and place, a line will just hit you. And the line about it never meant that much to me to mean that much to you was like, man, that is rough. But because that was kind of true with me, especially my teenage years, and that sucks when your father's passed away and you're driving home. And it must have been like some sort of two-for play or something like that. They played Old Man. They followed that up with Teach Your Children from Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. And then as soon as that song ended, radio station faded, because I'm driving to a different, I'm driving from a different market. So the radio station out. And so I put in the next CD, and basically it changed my whole feeling of, thinking about my mom and how, the family and how we're going to deal with this and what everything's going to be like and the funeral and all that, to really kind of that song come on, and it really just then thinking about like kind of reevaluating my whole relationship with my father and all that kind of thing. So Old Man from Neil Young. It's a song, it's a pretty common song. I do hear it often, but not a whole lot. But still, when I do, I remember being 24. As soon as he says the line 24, and there's so much more, 24, and losing my father. So Neil Young, Old Man, has that specific memory. All right, song 3, I think, is there a part in everyone's life when they're like, okay, that's when I became an adult. That's when I was a grown. I knew I was a grown-up when this happened, or when I did this, or when this circumstance, or whatever. For me, I think I became a man. It has to do with the song Cake and Sodomy from Marilyn Manson. Allow me to explain. So, like, I'm at the Marilyn Manson concert. Again, I'm in radio. We got the box and whatever. We're looking down at the reserve seats or whatever. I'm in my 20s, and I see a kid, and I'm not really good at aging kids, but this guy looked like he might have been like, I don't know, 8 or 9. Scrawny little kid, gangly, kind of, dorky, whatever, walking, stick, leg kid, little kid. He definitely wasn't like 12. He was like 8 or 9, wearing a shirt on the back that says, "I am the God of fuck." And I just remember seeing that and being like, and "I Am the God of Fuck" is the song Cake and Sodomy. That's why it's that song. And, he says that. He chants it basically in the beginning like 4 or 6 times or whatever. So that's what it's from. So I don't hear the song that often. Maybe somebody will play in a bar or something like that every once in a while. But if I start hearing that, "I am the God of..." That's what I think of when I became a man at the Marilyn Manson concert. Because I saw that kid in that shirt, and my immediate thought was, where are this kid's parents? Who are these kids? Legal guardian? Who was responsible for this child? Who was responsible for this child having a shirt on saying "I am the God of fuck" on the back of it at the Marilyn Manson concert? I remember growing up in the 80s. You couldn't wear this shirt at school, but I remember the worst one I think that I saw at being like a kid was probably the "Metal Up Your Ass" Metallica with the toilet and the fist with the blade coming up. Again, you couldn't wear that at school, but sometimes you see kids in a store, you'd be at a kid's house or at a friend's house, another kid come over and they have a shirt on or whatever. But that was about as bad as it got. But we were like 14, 15, 16 when we were wearing those. This kid, he was like 8, 9 years old. "I am the God of fuck." And I just remember seeing that, and instead of having the reaction of, "Oh man, look at that little dude over there, like, I am a God of fuck," I remember just being just appalled and just being like, what is this? This kid is walking around like this at 8 years old. What is he going to be like when he is 14? Who sold him this shirt? How did he get this shirt? Did he walk out of the house like this? Or was it like a switch around in the parking lot? I became old. I became a grown up at the Marilyn Manson concert, seeing the kid in these shirts. So yeah, that was my rite of passage. And like I said, the song's pretty, uncommon, but if I do hear that chant at the beginning, that's what I think of. The the shirt. I am the 9-year-old kid. You are not. You know, the God of fuck. That's got to be like a Jason Momoa type, or at least like a Danny D or something. Not some little dude walking around. I mean, just ridiculous. Okay, song 4 is "Paint a Vulgar Picture" from the Smiths. From the Strange Ways Here We Come album. Now, again, it goes back to my job again, but this is the one time that I could really sort of really relate to a song's lyrics that I don't think, you know, that were they were like speaking more to me. I know that people have that kind of thing with songs where it's more of an inspirational lyrics or a love song or something that's right there, and it's just how you feel about your partner or your spouse, whatever. But for me, it's more of a cynical thing about record labels that I really just totally connected to. And it was right at the time when I was becoming cynical after just being kind of working behind the curtain, behind the scenes, and seeing how the sausage was made type of thing, for just the enough amount of time to where this song really just, I mean, I heard it and it was just like, I totally get this song. And it's so completely cynical. There's a lot of other songs about, you know, record labels and you know, that kind of thing, and the record business and whatever. But this one to me is more like what I experienced. A lot of cynicism, record label execs, you know, and the people that work for them, working with some of them long enough to watch them slowly become more and more cynical. And you know, it's still that way a lot now with the vinyl releases and whatever. Just a lot of like, how are we going to bilk the public? What are we going to do next? You know, how are we going to take these same 6 albums and make them buy them all again? And you know, the Smiths' "Paint a Vulgar Picture." If you've never heard this song, check it out and obviously pay special attention to the lyrics of that. All right, we're up to the next song, which is from The Who. And from the album Tommy, the double album, the classic, you know, rock opera. I was born a twin, and my twin's name was Tommy. When he was born, he was, you know, normal in every aspect, except for he had a lot of congestion in his sinuses, and basically so much so they couldn't drain it in time. And when he was, you know, just a very, very newborn baby, oxygen was cut off to his brain and resulted in him having severe brain damage. So I grew up with a twin that was mentally disabled, or that's the term now, I guess. It was special needs, or, you know, handicapped or whatever. It's been other things as well. But so he passed away in 2010, and like I said, he basically had the mentality of an infant, basically. So he was on that mental level. He couldn't walk or talk or anything like that. You have to imagine an infant and what they can communicate. That was him through his whole life. They said he would not live to be, you know, a week old. Concentrate on the healthy one, which was me. But no, he kicked ass and he survived. He was a fighter, and he lived, like I said, until 2010. I did his eulogy. I put his memorial video together, and I used the song on here called "Tommy, Can You Hear Me?" Again, his name is Tommy, and the lyrics to that song are just, for my situation, my family situation, so incredibly specific and like eerily just like perfect. I mean, Tommy, can you hear me? Can you feel me near you? Can I help to cheer you? Can I do something for you? For my brother, my twin, that was absolutely perfect, the way that, you know, I felt about him. My family, he lived with us his entire life, in one aspect or another. My mother, you know, when he was born, basically changed her life, became a career woman and worked at his school until she retired. He inspired my youngest sister to become a physical therapist when she was little, and then everything in her life growing up, moving towards that. She's one of the top physical therapists in the state now. So all of my twin inspired that. But Tommy, can you hear me? The lyrics to that, if you think of a child or even a adult or a teenager or whatever with the mentality of an infant, then you probably figure out that these lyrics are pretty dead on for that. And just couldn't believe I played this at his the video played at his memorial. And you know, I don't have a lot of rock fans in my family. And some people thought that the song was custom made, you know, like I had somehow a band do a song for him. So, Tommy, can you hear me? Again, you're not going to hear that on the radio all the time and whatever. But if I'm listening to the album and that song comes on, there's no way I can't think of my my twin brother who's passed on, and rest in peace, Tommy. Staying with my, going back to my childhood, Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band, old time rock and roll. Now this has been done by 3 million drunk karaoke singers over the years. I get it. It's a way, way overplayed song. But it was one of the songs I used to love as a kid. I didn't have the Stranger in Town album. I had the 45, Sunspot Baby on the other side, one of the greatest 45s of all. And by the way, vinyl collectors, just want to say I grew up with a Wally 45. Didn't even know it. But yeah, obviously it sounds great. But old-time rock and roll, growing up, I was in my room a lot just playing records. I loved it. I mean, I was a weird kid. I didn't like toys. I didn't want action figures, and I didn't watch cartoons. I wanted records. I wanted head tapes. I wanted to listen to music, and I did all the time in my room. And this song starts off with the line, just take those old records off the shelf. I'll sit and listen to them by myself. And that always meant a lot to me as a little kid, because I did feel like a weird little kid that just wanted to sit and listen to music all the time. But when Bob Seger comes on and says, hey, I'll sit and listen to records by myself, that really connected with me. I thought, man, if somebody as cool as this grown-up rock star Bob Seger can sit alone and listen to records and he's okay, he's cool, then there's nothing wrong with me sitting around alone and listening to records. So, old-time rock and roll, first line of that song, it's still, brings me back to being a little kid and being alone listening to records and just having that as a kind of an okay, a thumbs up to that. George Jones from 1980, he stopped loving her today. Again, sticking with me as a little kid. I was 7 years old, I guess, when this came out. And it was the first, I was so proud of myself, because you have to kind of know what the song is about. The song basically is about this guy who was in love with this woman for a long time. He kept her letters over the years. She did not repay the love at all. She didn't love him back. But he kept on loving her, even though it was in vain, kept the letters, kept on, dreaming about her and all that. And finally, one day, he just stopped loving her, You have to really kind of pay attention to the song. It doesn't blatantly say it, but you have to pay attention to the song to know why he stopped loving her. And it's kind of revealed, well, the reason he stopped loving her is because he died. He loved her until the day he died, and he stopped loving her because he died. And I remember being so proud as a little 7-year-old figuring that out. I figured out my first song that was kind of oblique and didn't really point, directly say what was going on. I figured it out all by myself, that the guy died, and that's why he stopped loving her. So very proud of that. Whenever I hear that song, I always think, I'm right there with you as a 7-year-old. Okay, the next one, Led Zeppelin, the Rain Song. Now, the reason I'm showing it off this box set and not the House of the Holy album is because this is how I remember listening to this. That has this distinct memory. When I moved into my first apartment, first time away from home, first time alone, whatever. I'm in my apartment. It doesn't have any kind of anything. It was a furnished apartment, so it had a couch, but didn't have any TV yet. Didn't have cable. It didn't have anything. And there's no internet. There's no it's 1995. So, that's not as common. But I did have my, just a few CDs with me, and I brought my little CD player, didn't have my stereo or anything, and really didn't have anything to do after, coming back from wherever and just in my apartment alone. Hardly any, lights weren't on yet either. The lights were not on, and sitting there and with like candles and stuff, checking out Led Zeppelin box set, nearly all the way through. And for whatever reason, the Rain Song sticks out as the one that I remember. Whenever I hear the Rain Song from Led Zeppelin, it just reminds me of a time when I'm in a candlelit apartment, everything is brand new, my whole future is ahead of me, I'm a young guy out on my own. I mean, if you've been an adult, you moved out first time, you know what I'm talking about. And for me, it's the Rain Song. That's the song that takes me right back to that time of just, because it's so quiet, it's like a contemplated, and that's what I was doing. I was just kind of thinking about, man, what's gonna happen? My whole life is basically, starting. I could go, this path, this is it, this is it type of thing. And so yeah, the Rain song. So yeah, what are we at? Song number 9. Song number 9 is by a Finnish DJ. It's an instrumental club song called Sandstorm, and the DJ's name is Darude. And yeah, club song brings back a specific, very fond, very very awesome memory for me. Is going out all the time, different bars and stuff like that, different clubs and whatever. But it was this particular time and this particular evening where it was a time when this song was really hot. Obviously, I think the club we were at probably played it about 3 times, but wow, it was just one of those great nights. You ever had, go out a lot, but you ever have those nights where it's like some nights are just like really good nights, a lot of good stuff going on, a lot of fun going on, and then a little, club closes afterwards, go to a little after party going on, and it's just one of those nights where the stars aligned, and it's just an absolute blast and a lot of fun going on, and I have got a lot of good memories of that night at the after party, and somebody had a 15-minute version of this song. I already heard it 3 times, and Sandstorm from Darude came on again with a 15-minute long remix, and I just remember, wow, it's a really good night. I have a lot of fun. I would just, wow, bring back some really good memories of that night. And then we, later after that, a little more intimate kind of setting with a lot fewer people, and that's when the real fun's going on. And wow, that was, we had a lot of fun. That was good times, man. I just, wow, yeah, it was one of those Sandstorm by Darude takes me right back to the time where it was just, we had a lot of fun, a lot of good times. It was, okay, final song. The Beatles, we had to get the Beatles in there at one point. Now, the Beatles, I've kind of talked about before, where I had kind of a weird start with these guys. My 60s and oldies records, I would have those on like compilations. Beatles were never on there. Didn't really get exposed to a lot of oldies radio, 60s music on radio when I was growing up. We listened to a lot of classic country, or what current country then. At the time, so they never heard them on the radio. Used to get a bunch of 45 collections that were awesome of all these oldies. Yeah, it's a purple 78. But nobody was ever selling their Beatles albums. So I really got exposed to the Beatles kind of late for me. I was already like 8 or 9 years old, and I hadn't heard the Beatles really. And how I was exposed to them was their cartoon. It was this goofy, awful cartoon where they were these fake voices, and it wasn't very good. But they had the Beatles' actual songs that would play in the cartoon. I think like 2 per cartoon. And we didn't have a VCR or anything. I don't know if you used to do this or not, people that are my age or older, but I had this little cassette recorder. You put the cassette recorder up to the TV speaker, and I was recording all the Beatles songs. So I always say my first Beatles album was Rock and Roll Music Volume 1, but really, I had a Beatles tape recorded off the TV of, I haven't even announced what the song is, and I keep showing this, but I had a tape that basically got longer and longer, The first song you've heard a lot, and you get another song on there, you listen to the 2 songs over and over, you get another song on there, you listen to those 3 songs over and over, so forth. So that first song, you're going to hear a lot if you're listening to the tape over and over again, which I was. Now, what was the first song on my Beatles tape, the one that kicked off my journey with the Beatles? Song number 1, was it I Want to Hold Your Hand? Was it She Loves You? Was it something ironic like Let It Be, like one of their last songs was my first song? I'm holding Beatles 65. What was it? Was it I Feel Fine, or, She's a Woman? No, my first Beatles song, Mr. Moonlight. So yeah, my whole Beatles experience starts with Mr. Moonlight, a very special song. I hear that song and I'm immediately taken back to that tape recorder in front of the TV and the Beatles' ridiculous cartoon, because you never hear Mr. Moonlight. Who plays Mr. Moonlight? So it's not like it's, She Loves You that I've heard a million times, or, While My Guitar Gently Weeps or something like that. Mr. Moonlight, still a kind of a neat song to hear, because I haven't overheard it. So it still takes me back to being a little kid with the tape recorder in front of the TV. I'm Robert Fitton. Do you have some special songs that connect you to some sort of specific memory or time or awesome thing? Or maybe, you know what, let's not do tragedy or horrible things. Let's nice. If you want to leave that in the comments, that would be great. I always read the comments and try to respond to a lot of them, so I appreciate all of those. I would appreciate a thumb up if you like the video. Please consider doing that, and maybe even subscribe so you don't miss future videos. And again, thanks to the vinyl community for all of the great videos I've been watching lately. Please keep those coming. I'm Robert Fithen. Thanks again for watching.